Are you running like crazy as a winger but still feel invisible on the pitch? Do you ever wonder when should you rest or where to stand? Today I'm breaking down the real winger secrets that pros use to save energy, dominate the field, and create opportunities to score more goals without burning out too much. Stick around because by the end of the video, you're gonna know how to position, defend, and attack smarter, not harder. Let's jump right into it. The big problem, why winger positioning matters. Wingers now aren't just attackers. You are expected to defend, press, and run all game long. In modern systems, formations, coaches almost uses the wingers like wingbacks, which makes your job a lot harder than before. Especially in formations like 4-3-3, 3-5-2, now you end up becoming the wingback. You're basically in between the fullback and a winger. So you have to do two jobs at once. Basically, you're gonna have to be much smarter and know exactly when you need to conserve the energy, when you need to make those overlapping runs, when you need to be sitting back and defending. And if you don't master positioning, you are wasting energy. You're just gonna gas out. And worse, you're gonna lose the ball at the wrong time. Big truth is that the great wingers are not always the fastest, but they are the smartest. If you have the natural speed, that's fine. That's a bonus. But you don't necessarily have to have the outstanding pace. There are two types of wingers. One is the traditional wingers. You have to stay wide and make early crosses. You could also be an inverted winger, more commonly used in the modern day. You basically almost play like wide attacking midfielder. You're gonna focus on cutting inside and taking a shot and support centrally. If you are right-footed right winger, immediately improve your weak foot. So you are now way more unpredictable by the opposition. You can go wide, you can cross early, or you can cut inside and take a shot with your weak foot because the opposition won't expect you to use your weak foot really well. Basically, if you do improve your weak foot to a certain level, now you're twice more dangerous. But how should wingers' positioning be offensively? So there are a couple of key things that you have to master as a winger. Number one, when the ball is on your side, you have to stay wide. Not when you have the ball. When you stay wide, you are shifting the opposition and spreading the opposition's defensive line. So now you're creating space for your teammates to receive the ball in the dangerous areas. When the ball is in the opposite side, now you have to make more central runs to open up a space for your overlapping fullback. So this is what I call sneaking in centrally. So you could either receive the ball centrally or you could create a space, as I said, for your overlapping fullback. Or depends on how your coach wants you to play, but you could ideally make runs in behind the opposition's defenders. These are called blindside runs. So you are almost like becoming a striker and get into the dangerous territories to receive the ball from your teammates. But the most important thing here is that you cannot always make the same styles of runs. So you have to catch the opposition off the wrong foot. So you basically have to change your speed. So you have to time your run perfectly. Like you are stationary, and quickly explode in behind the defenders. So the opposition will be just ball watching and you just put yourself in a dangerous zone to receive the ball. Remember, smart runs create goals, not only the speed. Here's a perfect example for you how Mane used to start wide and then explode inside when the ball switched sides. Then we get into winger positioning when defending, so you can conserve more energy. The more energy you conserve when you're defending as a winger, the more energy you're gonna have when your team is attacking, so you could be deadly. Your defensive shifts are the keys when it comes to your defending abilities as a winger. Nobody's expecting you to be an excellent defender, but you have certain roles that you must follow when you're playing the winger position. If your coach is a decent coach, most likely they will want you to block the central channels. So you are initially allowing the opposition to play the ball wide. But as soon as that ball gets wide, now you are shifting to force the opposition to play backwards, not forward. But always keep in mind that you never want that ball coming in central. As soon as the opposition's fullback, winger, whoever has the ball, our goal is always to force them backwards. Then you did your job. Because most likely the opposition is gonna switch sides and then the attack will be progressing from the opposite side. It's not coming from your side, which means that you did your job on your side. And the more we force the opposition to play backwards or square balls, now we have opportunities to find triggers to high press or win the ball. You have to track back to critical zones. So we are not wasting energy to chase the ball. We are not chasing the ball. If we always chase the ball as a winger, now you're wasting so much energy. That's not what we want. Now we get to the most critical part about defending and covering space as a winger. Because this part is super important that sometimes a lot of wingers get confused with this. Because you will most likely have a fullback that likes to overlap, that likes to play with the ball and attack, support your team's attack, make crosses as well. But what do you do in these kind of situations? Think about this a bit more logically. You are winning the game and your fullback overlapped. What do? We drop back and we cover because we don't need to score anymore. What we need to do is to be strong defensively. So you always have to cover for your overlapping fullback when your team is winning. But if your team is losing or the game is 0-0 and you must win the game, we have to have more speedy players up top. So you're gonna have to support your overlapping fullback, you're gonna have to support some of your central teammates. But in this case, now maybe one of the CDM can drop, cover that space, or another center back stepped up and covering that space. This is a game intelligence that you have to understand if you are playing as a winger, and these are the basics of it. Now, I'm gonna throw in a couple of situations for you and I want you to answer them honestly, maybe in the comments or in your head. You have the ball centrally as a winger and you have a couple of decisions to make. You can dribble around an opposition or you can pass simply. Which one would you do? You always play simple when you're central. That's a no-risk zone, no matter what position you're playing on the pitch. The next situation is your central midfielder has the ball and your fullback is overlapping. What do? You tuck inside and cover if you need to. Your team has the ball and the game is progressing from the opposite side. What do you do as a winger? How do you make your off-the-ball runs? You're making your runs central, so you are creating space wide for your overlapping fullback. These are the simple situations that happens almost every game. And if you played the winger position for a while, then you know this happens. And this is the most important tip that somebody ever can tell you to conserve energy as a winger. You don't rest when you're tired. You rest when the ball is on the opposite side. That's your clue that you can maybe stand for a few seconds. You don't have to run maybe a few seconds. And that's exactly when you catch your breath. Then winger chemistry. This is the secret to winning attacks. You basically have to work together with your central midfielders, with your fullback, with your strikers, with your attacking midfielders, so you can cover for one another. Great wingers don't work alone. They work together with their teammates. Communicate constantly with your fullback so you understand one another's runs. When they overlap, you drop slightly. When you make a wide run, they cover for you. Every overlapping run should feel automatic. If you cut inside, your fullback overlaps wide. If they overlap, you support inside. You have to create overloading situations like 2v1s. Your fullback overlap. Now you can create these one-touch passing moments so you can easily beat the opposition and get into the dangerous territories with the ball. Your fullback is your best friend, so build the connection and work together. Now you know the truth about winger positioning. You don't have to waste energy, you don't have to guess where you need to be on the field. You can master the field with smart positioning. Smash that like button if you learned something new. Subscribe for more pro-level football tips. Drop a comment and let me know, are you a traditional winger or inverted winger? Don't forget to check out my first touch video. First touch is the key to every position. I played winger for many years and I'm telling you these from the experience. Thanks for tuning in and I will see you next time.